All right, welcome back to the Field of 68s After Dark. I am Stadium Insider Jeff Goodman. I'm joined by the man with the best hair in college basketball. I will just say it, ESPN's Jeff Borzello, and the man with the worst hair in college basketball. It is former Clemson shooter Terrence Oglesby. And listen, the North Carolina Tar Heels won a huge game today. And it's really one of those where, again, it's not that big a win. It's if they had lost, they were done. And they come out and they're fighting Syracuse in Chapel Hill, and they're down late. And Caleb Love was terrible for the first 39 minutes of the game. And I think he was 2 for 15. And then he hits a big shot, big three to what we thought was win the game. And then Joe Girard forces overtime. Caleb Love hits a couple other big threes in the extra 5 minutes. But now Carolina wins, and they get the double bye. And top four finish in a crappy ACC. Nothing to really, honestly, celebrate about. But what it did was, to me, again, it put them in position. They got the win they needed to get. Now you get Duke at Duke. Your numbers are going to go up no matter what, for the most part. And I think Carolina, and I've said it for months, they're going to be in because, frankly, look at last year, the UCLA-Michigan State first four matchup. The committee is not stupid. They want ratings right out of the gates. They're going to get them with Carolina. They're going to get them with Michigan. They're going to get them with Indiana. The Tar Heels are a lock to play in this NCAA tournament. A lock. Take it to the bank.
How could they not be a lock? I realize what you're saying about the ACC, but 14-5, Hubert. I actually look at this season for Hubert as like a win. I think by time's all said and done, and I've been as hard on Carolina as anybody. I hated that T-shirt you put on the other day, Goodman. He had a Carolina T-shirt. I about fell out of my chair, but it was the thing is, even in a weak conference, you're still 22-8 and 14-5. 14-5, and you're handling games you're supposed to handle. I thought by the time everything happens, you lose Dawson Garcia, who I didn't think was that big of a contributor to begin with, but you still have to deal with the uncertainty of it all, and they figured it out. They're a lock NCAA tournament, NCAA tournament, tournament team. That was awful. The tournament team. So I think it's impossible not to keep them in at this point.
I think they'll get in. I just think a lock is a little bit aggressive. A team with one quad one win and a quad four loss, and I don't know if they're going to win another game the rest of the season. Throw in some bids. Let's say Murray State doesn't win the Ohio Valley. I'm just saying, a lock seems to be maybe a step further than I would go. I mean, I think they're in right now, but I just think there's a lot of negatives on the resume that I don't know if
a lot of negatives on all those bubble teams' resumes.
Yes, but some of those other bubble teams have more than one quad one win. Carolina's best win is at Virginia Tech. And they have a quad one home loss to Pittsburgh, a quad four home loss to Pittsburgh.
I just think you're discounting the name on the front of the jersey.
Yeah. I mean, I think they get in. I would not be willing to call them a lock yet.
Can they win? If they get in, can they pull a Mick Cronin UCLA first four to Final Four, or even first four to Sweet 16? I mean, Caleb Love. Listen, how many rosters? If you're putting Carolina's roster
from a pure talent perspective, I mean, they're a top 25 most talented team in the country. I mean, maybe
better
higher.
Than that.
Maybe
better
maybe
than
I
that.
mean, with Dawson Garcia, I probably would have said top 15.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're a first four to Final Four, but they can win a game or two. Obviously depending on matchup, but I mean, they've been competitive against some good teams, I guess.
I disagree with you there.
They haven't
played anybody.
They haven't proven they can beat a good team. Yeah. They got crushed by Kentucky, crushed by Duke, crushed by Tennessee, lost by 9 to Purdue. I mean, I don't know if they can beat 2 or 3, NCAA tournament caliber teams in a row, because I'm not sure they've beaten one all year.
I think it all has to do with matchups too. If they go up against somebody like arbitrary team, Texas Tech, they're going to beat the hell out of them. And they're just not tough enough to come back.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're going to beat the hell out of Texas Tech.
No. Texas Tech's going to beat the hell
out of them. They might make him cry. Honestly, Texas Tech might
lose
make
66 to 41 or something like that.
Yeah, it would be ugly. It would be ugly. All right, make sure if you're listening right now, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you like in the chat right now. In the chat, you can ask questions. When we're during break, you can talk about Borzello's hair, whatever you want to do. Everybody's saying he's got the best hair in college basketball media right now. I want to argue it, but I can't.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, this was
I
8:30 this morning. I did this, so this is 15 hours.
I mean, it's hard. Perfect. It's hard for me to walk around the Final Four.
Longevity. This is stamina. This is 15 hours of hair.
So make sure. Nice. The other thing is, listen, if we get 100 likes, a source has told me that Borzello might just shotgun a beer tonight.
He doesn't do that. He's.
What do you mean you don't do that? You don't. You're young.
I haven't shotgunned a beer in, I don't know, 13 years, and it was probably dreadful when I tried it. I'm drinking tea right now out of an all I need is love and Wi-Fi mug.
You are so old. You honestly are so old. I'm wondering if you're even going to go out in New Orleans this year for the Final Four.
Oh, I'm going to go out.
You better go out.
I got San Antonio. I got San Antonio on the Riverwalk for 5 days, and then I got New Orleans. It's going to be a.
You got the right call.